Monster Blood for Breakfast, Chapter 11. I set the monster blood egg down on my desk. Give it to me, Bradley said. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to take a taste right now. I'm serious. This is going to change my life. He shoved my shoulder. And guess what, dude? This monster blood is going to win me Mr. Scotto's science prize, too. Know what the science experiment is? Me. Bradley did a wild dance around my room, tossing his arms in the air and cheering for himself. I had a heavy feeling in my stomach. I gazed at the green egg. Bradley, I have to tell you about these two men, I said. Bradley stopped his crazy dance. Don't try to talk me out of it, he said. My mind is made up, Matt. This is the biggest thing I've ever done, and I know it's going to be awesome. But Bradley, let me tell you, I tried again. No way, he said. He clamped a hand over my mouth to silence me. I'm going to eat just enough monster blood to make me as big and strong as you are. Read my lips. No one will ever call me Worm again. I pulled his hand off my face. I should stop him, I told myself. Those two men in black and this stuff was really dangerous. Bradley is a creep, but I can't let him eat something that might make him sick. Yes, Bradley's a creep. Suddenly, my mind returned to the past few days. All those close calls. Mr. Scotto's broken windshield. Bradley getting us caught cheating on the math test. My wrecked laptop. Almost being suspended from school. All because of Bradley. A creep. A total creep. I couldn't help it. My anger came sweeping back. It flooded over me. Payback time, I told myself. Bradley deserves it. I grabbed the egg off my desk. I pulled off the top and gazed at the bubbling green gook inside. Then I raised the monster blood to Bradley. Go ahead, I said. Slurp it up. Bradley's face turned serious as he took the egg from me. He held it in one hand and raised it close to his face. It's bubbling a lot, he murmured. Haha, listen, hear that plop plop sound? Weird? Let's see what it tastes like. He dipped his little finger into the green goo. Hey, it's hot, he said, and really sticky. Look how it sticks to my finger. Go crazy, I said. Taste it. Say goodbye to the old Bradley, he said, and he lifted his little finger to his mouth. Chapter 12. Bradley stuck out his tongue. He raised a little glob of monster blood to his mouth, and I grabbed his arm and pulled it down. No, I cried. What are you doing? Bradley said angrily. Let go. What's your problem, Matt? He tried to lift the monster blood to his mouth, but I held his arm away. I can't let you do it, I said. I changed my mind. I guess I have a conscience. I couldn't do something that evil, even to Bradley. Let go of me, Bradley screamed. You're not the boss of me. That made me laugh. Big baby, I said. I grabbed his little finger and wiped the glob of monster blood off on his jeans. Then I grabbed the bottom part of the egg and clamped the top down on top of it. I had to squeeze the lid on. The monster blood was rising up out of the egg. Give it to me, Bradley swiped at the egg, but I swung it out of his reach. It's mine. I can do what I want with it, he whined. Just shut up and listen to me, I said. Two men stopped me on the street. They said it was dangerous. They wanted it back. Bradley rolled his eyes. Two men? Ha ha, he said. Tell me another one. I'm serious, I said. I can't let you eat this stuff. You're a dirty liar, Bradley shouted. He dove at me, grabbing for the plastic egg. I raised it out of his reach. He tackled me to the floor and fell on top of me. He tried to wrestle me, but he was too skinny and light. Give it to me. It's mine. Give it to me, he shouted. I tucked the egg into my jeans pocket. Then I rolled on top of him and pinned his arms to the floor. I held him down till he stopped squirming and shouting. Give up? I said. Come on, Bradley. You're pinned. Say it. Give up? He groaned. Okay, you're crushing me. I climbed to my feet and helped him up. He groaned and rubbed his skinny arms. I don't think I hurt him too bad. Are you going to give me the monster blood or not? He asked. Not, I said. I patted my jeans pocket. I'm keeping it safe and sound. Bradley let out a cry and dove at me again. Give it back to me, Matt. It's mine. That's when Livy poked her head into the room. What are you doing? She cried. I heard you all the way down the hall. Bradley let go of my jeans and backed away. None of your business, geek nose, he snarled. Huh? Livy's face turned an angry red. Okay, no biggie. I'm out of here, Bradley said, fists at his sides. You keep the monster blood, Matt. Go ahead. You just don't want me to be as big and popular as you are. Bradley, you don't get it, I said. You can't eat something if you don't know what it is. No biggie, Bradley said again. You keep it. But I'm keeping the Birdhouse Project, and I'm gonna win with it. He shoved Livy out of his way and stomped out of the room, muttering furiously to himself. Whoa, what was that about? Livy said. I pulled the egg out of my pocket and held it up to her. It's some stupid gunk Bradley ordered online. He wanted to eat some of it, but I wouldn't let him. Let me see, Livy said. She grabbed the egg and pulled it open. Oh, sick, she moaned. I watched it bubble over the side of the egg. It's really gross, I said. Livy pushed it to my nose. Smell it. It's totally pukey. Yuck. It smelled like moldy Brussels sprouts. I hate Brussels sprouts. I grabbed the egg from Livy's hand. Bradley really wanted to eat this stuff, Livy said. I nodded. He's one sick dude. Livy stared into the egg. Yeah, sick. We both heard Mom calling from downstairs. Livy turned and ran to the stairs. I watched the monster blood bubble and pop. Did people really eat this stuff, or was this one of Bradley's crazy ideas? I carried the egg to the window and peered down the street. I thought maybe the two men in black might be hanging around outside. I could run out and hand them the monster blood. But no, two rabbits stood in the front lawn, up on their hind legs, frozen in headlights as a van rumbled past. No sign of the men in black. Whoa! I felt the monster blood drip onto my hand. I looked down. The green goo had bubbled up over the side of the egg. It poured onto my palm and began spreading to my fingers. I dropped the egg onto my dresser, but a big blob of monster blood clung to my hand. It oozed over my fingers, hot and sticky. I struggled to pull it off, but it clung tightly. The putrid smell was making me sick. What if I can't pry it off, I thought. What if it just keeps growing on me? Chapter 13. Finally, I pried the sticky stuff up and rolled it into a bubbling ball. I turned to my dresser and stuffed it back into the egg. Whoa! I let out a cry when I saw the green gunk pouring over the side of the dresser, into one of my ivy plants. I glanced frantically around the room. I had to find something to hold this disgusting stuff. My eyes stopped at something on my bottom bookshelf. Something that might be big enough and strong enough to hold the monster blood until I could get rid of it. I rushed across the room. I bent down and picked up a giant china piggy bank. It was a present from my Aunt Harriet. I think she won it at a carnival. The piggy bank was bright pink. It had a coin slot on its back and a wide cork in its belly for taking the coins out. The bank was bigger than a toaster. Yes, it might hold the goo for a while. I knew I had to be careful. I found a pair of leather gloves in my closet and slipped them on. Then I picked up the metal trowel I use for loosening the dirt in my ivy pots. I took a silver funnel I'd been using for a science experiment. I removed the cork and jammed the funnel into the hole. I stepped up the dresser and began shoveling up the monster blood. Bubbling and steaming, it clung to the trowel. I tilted it into the funnel. Now it was stuck to the funnel walls. My eyes darted around the room, searching for something that might work better. Nothing here. The stuff was too sticky. My heart pounded as I pushed and shoved and jammed the monster blood into the funnel, down through the hole in the bank's belly. Finally, I jammed the last globs into the piggy bank. My hand trembled as I shoved in the cork. The big bank was nearly full. Would it hold the bubbling green goo? I tossed the funnel into my closet, then I grabbed the roll of masking tape I'd been using to build my birdhouse model. I wrapped the tape all around the bank, strip after strip. I wrapped many strips of tape over the slot on the top. By the time I was finished, sweat poured down my forehead. My shirt was drenched, my arms and legs were trembling. I thought about the swim team tomorrow. The guys were all counting on me. The whole school was counting on me. I had to calm myself down. And then I had to sleep. Coach Widows always insisted on 8 hours sleep before a meet. I picked up the piggy bank, heavier now, and warm. Carefully, I carried it to my closet. I tucked it into a low shelf way in the back. Gotta calm down, gotta stop thinking about monster blood. I picked up my watering can and began drizzling water on the 2 ivy plants. Then I untangled some vines and misted the leaves. Working with my plants always calms me down. But no way I could stop thinking about the bubbling green gunk in the piggy bank in my closet. I'll take it to the town dump tomorrow, first thing after the swim meet, I decided. The dump was only 2 blocks away. I could bury it there, no problem. It took me a long time to fall asleep that night. I had a bunch of disturbing dreams. I dreamed I heard strange bubbling sounds nearby. Glug, glug, pop, glub, glug. I woke up slowly, feeling groggy, my head heavy as a rock. Glug, glug, pop, glug, glug. The sounds from my dream. I was awake now, but I could still hear them. Wet, smacking noises, gurgling and pops. It took me a long time to realize the sounds were real, not a dream. I jerked straight up in my bed. My heart skipped a beat. Glug, glug, glug. From the closet, I let out a long, worried sigh and climbed out of bed. The sick sounds grew louder as I crept across the room. Had the monster blood escaped? Would it come sweeping over me in a tidal wave of hot goo? I was 2 feet from the closet when I heard a stretching sound behind me. I spun around and opened my mouth in a scream of horror. A man, a giant 8 feet tall. He stood in my room, in front of the window, waving his outstretched arms at me.